Welcome to another Narc Survivor live video. It's been raining here in the city today. But I haven't been out anywhere. I haven't gone out anywhere since I got here actually, other than just to get something to eat. I'm quite happy just sitting in the room doing some work. I put out some really good content recently. But yeah, today let's talk about what the narcissist will never do for you. And I've got 5 things that they will never do, and that they likely have never done for you up until this point. And yet you've been with them for how long? It's a good sign that they are never going to do these things. Number 1, they will never side with you against your enemies. If they can see that someone is going against you, someone is doing something to you, someone is being a nuisance, a problem for you, they will just leave you without any support. They will not be there for you. They will not support you. And instead, they may just quietly join them behind your back. So if someone is bullying you, if someone is publicly humiliating you, the narcissist is there. The narcissist sees it. They're not going to side with you. They're not going to support you. They're not going to be there to protect you. And even if you tell them about it, they will minimize it. They will act like it's not a big deal. But if someone was to do that to them, it would be a big deal. They would make a big scene about it. And this is it. There's always a double standard with narcissists. So don't expect them to be there for you. Don't expect them to support you in anything. And that includes when they see other people, your enemies, bullying you, harassing you. They are not going to be there for you. They are not going to be there to protect you. Two, they will never support you financially. Now, money is a big thing with narcissists. There's so many videos on YouTube talking about this, the money problems that people have with them. Because as with anything else, you're going to be seeing the self-absorption, the lack of empathy, the sense of grandiosity, the exploitation, all traits of narcissistic personality disorder. And you're going to see this when it comes to money. So it's all about you providing for them, taking care of them. You're doing all of the spending. You're paying for all of the bills. If they earn any money, they keep it all for themselves. And you may be thinking, I spend this money on them, I take care of them. Eventually they will take care of me. They said they would take care of me. No, they never will. And it doesn't matter what extreme it gets to. You will just keep on doing more and more and more, and it will never stop. It will never end. There is no limit. There is no cutoff point for the financial abuse. And I could be a good example of that, because I was with someone And I spent £250,000 in just a couple of years. £160,000 in just 1 year. And this was just flying this person around, traveling everywhere, spending probably over £1,000 a month just on their food. And aside from that, up to £500 a month on cigarettes, alcohol, and probably around £30,000 on their therapy and helping them to start a business. Because I'm not that kind of person. I never have been. I think it's wrong, to trap someone financially and leave them dependent on you. I wanted them to be independent. That's why I must have spent well over £10,000 helping them to start a business. And I was still paying for it even after they left me for months later, because I felt bad. I kept paying for their business and also for their therapy, which they weren't even using, and they didn't even make a sale. But anyway, even after all of this, even after I spent £250,000, and also before this, we actually agreed that if I pay for her initially, she would pay all of the money back to me, everything that I'm paying. I never got even a penny in return, not even 1 penny. And actually, what happened is she then reported me to the police, saying that I wasn't taking care of her. I wasn't buying her what she needed. Meanwhile, I'm still spending about £3,000-4,000 a month on it, which was over half my earnings. Spent a ridiculous amount of money on superficial things, hotels, villas, everything. And so she called the police on me so many times I lost count. Took me to court twice, and I'm paying like £300 for a lawyer just to tell me to plead guilty, otherwise I go to jail. Of course, this all had a really detrimental effect on my work as well. And in the end, I was, she demanded something ridiculous, like £5,000 a month, which was over half my earnings at the time. And of course, I refused to pay that, and she got me arrested. I was locked up for 5 weeks. Before I knew it, my earnings went down from $20,000 a month all the way down to like $5,000 a month, until it just completely just went down to about $1,500 a month. And this is after I did everything, spent £250,000 in 2 years. And since then as well, I'm still paying, because now she filed for alimony against me. And the rate that I'm paying is not based off of what I'm earning now, because she managed to get the child support in on it. So I am still paying the rate of what I was earning. For some reason, they take it from 5 years ago, when I was at my peak at earnings, before she sabotaged me. And actually after I left her, because after I left, 2 months later, I went from earning $8,000-9,000 a month. It shot up to $20,000 a month within 2 months. It was like a miracle, but then, it's not really a miracle. It's just because of the work I put in, and I wasn't distracted then. But yeah, this is the double standard I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about when I say there's no limit, there's no cut-off point. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire, trillionaire, they will never be satisfied. It will never be good enough. And just because you bought them a fleet of private jets, super yachts, mega mansions around the world. Don't expect them to give you even a penny back in return, because they likely never will. And of course, I've heard from many clients. I mean, I've had clients in all parts of the world. A director in Hollywood, his wife filed for divorce, took him for $4.5 million. And there was another lady in Hawaii who she was living in a $10 million mansion with her husband, and he just kicked her out. And then he had all of his women in his mansion, and she said it's like the Playboy mansion over there, and the kids are just being neglected. But yeah, this is how it goes with them. Extremely greedy, selfish people. And it's not all about us. Of course, it's a big deal, how they affect us, how they ruin us, our potential, our success. But think about the other people. What about everyone else who could have benefited from you? Good people who weren't just going to take advantage of you. They could have benefited from your success. But that's just it. The narcissist will ruin it all for themselves because they don't care about anyone but themselves. And often it's just for their own ego. It's just their unstable emotions. So, this is how it goes with them. And yeah, as you can tell, I'm very strong emotionally. Of course, that there's so many people around the world, like people in stocks and shares and corporations, and once it goes under, they go from earning thousands of dollars a month to earning practically nothing. Most of them, well, not most of them, but many of them will just go and take their own lives. They won't see any point in living anymore. I mean, of course, it's difficult. If you're going from staying in villas and nice hotels, driving whatever car you want, having whatever you want for food, your life is very luxurious and comfortable, and then you just go down to nothing. You go from the top to the bottom. You may just look at it like, what's the point of living? But funny enough, I was always the opposite. I was living with my father, and we were living together in a 5-bedroom, 4-floor mansion with a gym, a spa, everything. And I moved out when I was 26. I moved out to go into a 2-bedroom apartment. That was my own choice, because I just wanted my own space. And then even after that, then when I started making a lot more money, I just went to travel the world. And even when I had loads of money, when I was earning like $20,000 a month, I was still just staying in rooms for like $10 a night. And I had enough money to where I could rent a Porsche and everything, and I drove it for a few days. It got to a point where I just left it in the garage. And then I took out my other car, which was a much cheaper, just a BMW. So, but yeah, that's how it is. It's, you think you want something, and then when you get it, it's kind of like you just want to know that you can have it, or you just want it there in case you need it, if you're bored or something. But otherwise, it's the same thing, because I've lived in big houses my whole life. And, since I was 16, already living in a multi-million-pound mansion. We had supercars like Aston Martins and everything. And most of the time, the cars are just in the garage, never go out in them. Brand new Aston Martins. And even the house, it was just normal. There wasn't anything special. We have the gym and the sauna, never even use it. I don't think the sauna has ever been used even once. And of course, all of this stuff was brand new. And yeah, you know, because we have nothing in contrast to compare it to. I think that's what it is. It was just accustomed to it. But yeah, this is definitely a thing with the narcissist, is that they so easily get accustomed to you, and they take you for granted and everything you're doing for them. Anyway, on to number 3. They will never stop doing what hurts you. And if anyone's got any questions about, you know, my stories there, I will come back to it now at the end of the video. Let me just finish with the rest of it. They will never stop doing what hurts you. They can see when something is hurting you, when something is upsetting you. They lack self-awareness, but they're very aware of their environment. They have to be. They're always searching for supply. They're always scanning the environment for threats, anything that might expose them. So they're very aware of what you're going through. They can't feel what you feel. They lack affective empathy, but they're high in cognitive empathy. So they can read into your emotions very well. And of course, they likely know these emotions all too well themselves. That's how they're able to project onto you. So they know exactly what you're going through. They can even tell the degree of the pain of which you're going through. And yet they won't stop doing it. And even if you confront them on it, they'll still keep going. They might stop for a moment, but they'll always go back to it, or they'll find another more covert, manipulative way to do exactly what they were doing before when they were more overt. Because they just can't stop. They lack discipline. They lack self-control. They just find new ways to get away with it. They cannot stop pushing and provoking you. That's all that this comes back to. It doesn't really matter the specifics of what they're doing. I mean, you know, it does matter. Of course, you know, it will matter to you in your personal experience, but it all comes back to they want to provoke you. It doesn't matter what way they're doing it. It all comes back to provocation. And it's because they're just not happy with themselves. And so they want to get a rise out of you to make themselves feel important, powerful. They want to affect you. They can't affect you in a positive way, or that just doesn't do anything for them. So they negatively provoke you. They get under your skin. And it's because they just don't care about you. They don't care about what you're going through. They don't care about your needs. And that's why they will gradually train you to stop expressing your needs, because that's how they want it to be. And honestly, this is really like them infantilizing you. They want you to be in a childlike state. This is very specific. They may not realize it consciously what they're doing, but this is what it is. They want you to be in a childlike state around the ages of maybe 2 to 4 years old, like a helpless toddler. That's how they want you to be, at the age where you haven't yet learned how to speak, so that they can do these things to you and keep a code of silence. So it's around these ages, maybe, I'd say at least 1 year old, where you're able to walk. Maybe up until the ages of 4. They want you stuck in that state where it's kind of like, your eyes are open, you can hear, but you're kind of immobilized. It's like you're paralyzed. You can't express anything. You're just stuck like that. And why do they want you stuck in that state? So that they don't have to answer to anything. They can just treat you however they choose to. They can get their rocks off on you, and you can't do anything about it. And guess what? When you do try to do something about it, when you do confront them on it, they look at you like you're just a little toddler throwing a tantrum. That's how they see you. And they just see it as though, is this what you really want? All right, just give it to them, just shut them up. That's what they're thinking in their minds. This is it. This is the narcissist mindset. They just look at you like a child. And that's how they want to see you. And they want you to stay in that state. They'll put you into that state, but then blame you for it. They'll take all of your power away from you, but then hold you responsible as though you should be in control of your life. Of course, it makes no logical sense. It's coming from their emotions. And it's often just a projection. But yeah, really how they like it is that you don't express your needs. You just keep quiet. You go through it, you experience the emotion so they can get the supply. But sometimes they may like it when you're demanding because, it makes them feel desirable and important, like you're dependent on them. It depends on the type of narcissist you're dealing with. If it's someone who's more of a malignant narcissist, as they see it, they will just hate to hear you whining and complaining. In their mind, just put a sock in it. Just shut up. They just want you to sit there and just, don't cry or whine openly. Yeah, you can look sad, you can have a frown on your face, you can have a tear rolling down, but just keep quiet. That's how they want it to be. Four, they will never acknowledge the good you brought into their life. Remember how much you did for them. Remember how you took care of them. They will never acknowledge it. Even in the moment, they will likely never say thank you. They will likely never express any sincere gratitude. And especially as time goes by, after you have upgraded them, you have improved their lives. You have fueled their disorder, which is what they wanted. You gave them the supply. You made them feel good about themselves. You may have improved their health, their finances, their life circumstances, just everything, as a result of what you provided to them. And yet they won't give you any credit. They just won't ever talk about it. They will act like you never did anything. Or they will make it out as though they're the ones who are doing something for you. It's all about how they're so wonderful. They expect you to see it as a privilege to be around them. It's like you're lucky that you even have the opportunity to provide something to me. You're lucky that I even care enough to abuse you, is how they think. And that's exactly how they expect you to look at it. They really are that delusional. It's like, yeah, they should get to destroy you and you should like it. And you should thank them for it. As for anything good that you've done for them, they rewrite history to erase your value. They just minimize all of it. But here's the irony of it. They could not, even in a million years, they couldn't do even a fraction of what you did for them. They couldn't. And they know it. And this is why they act so superior, so grandiose. Because they actually feel threatened by you. Just being in your presence makes them feel insecure. And it is evident in your behavior. Why can't you stand up tall around the narcissist? Why can't you hold your head up high? Why can't you be loud, confident? Why can't you express yourself? Why can't you shine? Why instead do you walk on eggshells? Do you have your head down? Why are you so quiet around them? Because subconsciously, you already know it. You already know that they're intimidated by you. You already know that you make them feel insecure. You already know that they are nothing compared to you. Because otherwise, what's the big deal in your light? It's because even you know at some level that it's something they will never be able to match. They will never be able to live up to. And that's why you tone it down. Subconsciously, you've learned to do that. Because you already realized that they were not on your level. That's why you toned it down. You already knew that. And it's not that you're just realizing it now. You already knew. It's kind of like you just compartmentalized it yourself to save them the humiliation. And that's what we do as empaths. And often we even mirror the very emotions that they should be feeling. Now they look at it as though it's us, as though we're going through something, as though we feel inadequate. We often just take it on for them. We absorb it. This is what empaths do. They absorb. And what's the point of them infantilizing us? What do infants do? An infant's brain is like a sponge. They absorb everything from their surroundings. What else do? They mimic. They mimic the authoritative figures in their environment. None of this has anything to do with you. You are absorbing it all from them. And finally, number 5. They will never tell you the full truth. These people wear masks. They live multiple, carefully constructed lives. There is no single individual. They have all of these different characters that they use for different people, different environments. And there is never any friendship or connection with anyone. It is all superficial. The mask is always whatever they think people want to see, and it is disconnected from themselves, if there is even a self there. And the mask is solely for validation. So in any moment there is no connection. There is only power and consumption. They are only ever consuming from their environment. And so they will never reveal the truth to you about who they actually are. And this is the moment that will really shock you in this video. If this information hasn't shocked you already, this is something that will really blow your mind. This mask, everything you're seeing from them, you know, they're acting like they're so wonderful, the false self, the false image, this other life that they have, that they keep you out of, they keep you separate from, and yet they act like it's so great, but they don't fully reveal it to you. There's a reason for that. Because it isn't great. It isn't anything for them to be proud of. And that's why they just give you a snapshot of it. They don't let you see the whole picture for that reason. And that's what they're hiding from you. And get this, it's the very same thing that they're hiding from everyone else. And this is why they divide and conquer. This is why they triangulate. This is the whole point about it. Why they triangulate you with a new supply. It's so that you don't realize just how fake and superficial their new relationship is. And also, it's so that the new supply doesn't realize everything they've been doing to you. Because typically what they're doing with the new supply, you know, sometimes they may play the victim to them, get them to feel bad, get them to do more. Or sometimes they'll make it out like you did so much for them. And that they were so happy, they were so grateful for you. And they don't want the new supply to be in contact with you so that they don't figure out that despite everything you did actually do, it still was never enough for them. And sometimes they, you know, because they live in fantasy, they may even exaggerate you in so many different ways. As you may be thinking, why would they exaggerate me? I mean, I already did so much. Even then, yes, you may have done a lot. They will still make it out like it was something even bigger. Because they're that insecure that no matter what you did for them, no matter how great you were, it still was not enough. Because they're just so insecure that nothing can fill that void. Nothing will ever be enough for them. And that's how and why they destroy. That's how they just take people for granted. And then later on, when reality finally hits them, they've got to look back at all of the opportunities that they blew. The wonderful people that they destroyed. Once they come out of it, once they wake up, which will happen eventually, reality will hit them. And of course, by that point, it will be too late, and they'll have no choice but to try and find some way back into the fantasy with some other new supply much later on. And by that point, it's incomparable. The new supply at that point is so many levels below you. It's unbelievable. It's not even measurable at that point. And yet, because they have this need to feed their ego, they will make it out as though they continue to upgrade, they continue to go up. They have to do that. And really, they go down so much. As time goes on, they go down. They keep going down. As for us, you know, it looks like, you know, we've suffered a lot. And we have, but if you look at it, if you zoom out on it, you will see more that we're going up and down, and gradually we are going higher over a much larger period of time, such as over many years or even many decades. For them, They have these short spikes, but really they just keep going down. That's what's happening with them. But it's an illusion. It looks like they're doing better. And of course, it's because we admit the truth to ourselves. We accept it. They've got to live in denial. But yeah, those are the 5 things the narcissist will never do for you. But if in the rare case they do any of these things, it is likely just manipulation. And it's really just to get something out of you. It has nothing to do with connection. It's all just manipulation, control, and deception. Now let me know if you have any questions. Let Go 247 says, can you repeat that? Once I finish the live video, you will be able to watch the entire thing again. And you can repeat the entire 36 minutes all over again if you choose to. You can repeat it as many times as you like. MMHHQQ asks, is the gearing in the right year a gay thing? No, I think that's just a projection of your own insecurities. Stephen Howard says, great channel, brother. Thank you for all your knowledge. Appreciate you. Glad to hear it, Stephen. I'm glad I could help. JK says, such a weirdo. Well, maybe stop looking in the mirror then. Hope you're loving these jokes. Those of you, the genuine viewers. It's only a joke on my end, you know, it's not serious for me. Because I'm not insecure about anything. I mean, I am, but, you know, I can accept it. I'm not being defensive or resistant to it. I know and I accept that I'm not perfect. I have flaws. These people, they feel threatened, insecure by me. And they have dissonance, you know, they're trying to fight it. They don't want to accept. That's what's driving them. I don't know what age these people are, but, you know, at some point, you got to learn to let it go. You got to just drop the ego, humble yourself. And if you're going to compete, at least compete fairly. At least let's have an actual real debate. Of course, you know, humans love, men love to compete. But that should be in a fair and honest way, rather than being manipulative. It's just they feel like they can't compete. So that's why they go low. Let Go 247 asks, can a narcissist ever change? I did answer that question in yesterday's live video. I personally believe that it is possible. Many people disagree. I believe that it's because of the external environment. Because think about it, why can't they change? It's because of the shame, feeling inadequate. So it'd have to be to do with the external environment, with society. But that's my opinion. Of course, many psychologists will tell you that narcissists cannot change. Annabelle Warwick asks if they have not acknowledged the breakup after several years and won't leave. Do I spring the leaving on him? We have a child. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. I mean, so is the narcissist still living in your home after you've broken up with him? Please explain this to me. Maybe Reese says trolls be trolling. Yeah, that's it. Trolls be trolling, haters be hating. Zan asks, what's the reason behind their strong hatred for you? It's their insecurity. Their shame, they feel inadequate. Think about it, they wore a mask, they manipulated you. Of course, they didn't feel good enough. And also they took from you. Why would they take so much from something that's meant to be less than them? Why would they need it if they're above you? So that's really what it comes down to. They're insecure. I mean, it's not like you did something directly to them. They were the ones doing things to you, and that's a part of it as well. A psychologist, Dr. Ramani, has mentioned how they feel shame, so they abuse, and then they feel more shame, which causes them to abuse you even more. Of course, they make it out like we did something wrong. This is it. They want you to think that way. They want you to keep investing into them. You can't ever do right with a narcissist. Just rewind it back to what I mentioned about my story. It doesn't make a difference how much you do. You could do so much where they couldn't even reciprocate a fraction of that back to you. It's not going to make a difference. You haven't impacted or affected them in a way where they've lost. You are their supply. You are feeding them. They are destroying you. So this is why they hate you. Louise Draven says, why compete fairly? Fair means you have a 50% chance of losing. Failing to prepare if preparing to fail. Well, that's it, you know. Think about it. If someone has at least like a 50% chance, I'd say even maybe 30%, 40%, they still might give it a go. This is how you know the narcissist really knows that it's got to be less than a 10% chance of them winning. So that's why they compete unfairly. And this is it, you know, I could never have any respect for anyone who cheats, who deceives. Doesn't matter what success they have, they haven't really succeeded. That's failure. If you have to cheat in a game, in a competition, in a relationship, it is failure. Ronald McDonald says you haven't survived anything if you're still smiling with your shades on. Again, that just sounds like insecurity. Maybe you're just feeling important because you're seeing me as a victim. And so you feel like I have the spotlight now. But that's just it, you know, that's why I call my channel Narc Survivor. I don't look at myself as a victim, so I'm not here seeking any sympathy or pity anyway. That's never been what I do. So it doesn't really make any sense. I mean, you know, that's a manipulative tactic that you should use if someone does feel like a victim and is seeking sympathy. So you're just using it at the wrong place and the wrong time. Stephen Howard says the world and people are becoming harder to navigate without this information. Yeah, that's it. And, you know, so many people jumped on the bandwagon with this. So many people have gone viral making these narcissist videos. Oh, they don't really care about the viewers. They're just spreading this generic information. It's just so shallow and superficial. And who knows, maybe it is part of the agenda. Or, you know, it's just the way it works. I mean, the people with the real passion, they just get forgotten about. Maybe Reese asks, why the hell are people obsessed with your sunglasses? I mean, they're mostly predators. They like to see in your eyes. You know, they can't feel what you feel, so they want to read into your emotions through your eyes, gauge how you're feeling, what you're thinking, so that they can then adjust to it to get their supply. And yeah, that's actually part of the reason why I wear my sunglasses. It's not because I don't value connection. It's to protect myself against these predators. And that's why, I mean, I am actually a confident person anyway. Of course, you know, with all of my experience, everything that I've been through. But also I do feel much more confident with my sunglasses on, knowing that many predators are tuning in to watch this as well. So it is very helpful for me. And yeah, I definitely recommend it. When you're around narcissistic predators, yes, put on your shades. Yes, wear your earphones. That's not weakness. That's just, it's good judgment. It's you valuing yourself, valuing your life. So don't let them pick on you for that. It's because they lack self-awareness. They can't see why you would need to protect yourself against a dangerous predator like themselves. Annabelle says he refuses to accept that I have ended it. That's a very common thing with these narcissists. This is what they're like. If you were a good supply, if you really satisfied the narcissist with your attention, validation, adoration, money, sex, they're not just going to let you walk away. Many of them will be on you for years. They won't just let you go. And they will be stalking you, and I've seen this in my experience. They will tap your phone, they will follow you around everywhere. They will stalk you on social media. Anywhere you're going, you're meeting with a friend, you're dating someone, they will know about it, they will show up, they will sabotage it. It's like you just can't get away from them. This is what happens, when your supply was so good. You've got to be very careful. You've got to protect yourself around these people. Geese88 says Mexican Jason Statham. Hey, what happened to Andrew Tate, Eminem? People stopped with those comparisons. I mean, I can't see any. I can't see anything that any resemblance of any of these people in me, to be honest. Personally, if you're asking how do I view myself when I'm obviously I can see myself in the video, when I look in the mirror, I see someone who doesn't look like most people. And the reason why I say that is because, my mother is Welsh, my father is Sri Lankan, and so, I have light brown skin, and I have large brown eyes, and then also I have very Western facial features. So this is a very rare, unusual combination to be mixed Welsh or British and Sri Lankan. And especially at my age, 36 years old. So, yeah, I don't think there's really anyone I could be compared to like that. But I know, there's a lot of trolls on here, and I've noticed this, like, most of my life. People always want me to externalize my power. They make these comparisons, references. It's just triangulation. Why not celebrate something about me? Why not acknowledge something that you see in me right now? Compliment me instead of making a comparison. Empower me instead of comparing me to Jason Statham, who, as we all know, is a Hollywood A-list supermodel actor who I can never live up to. So why not compliment me as a person? But this is it. This is what these trolls like to do. They like to compare me to Jason Statham, Eminem, Andrew Tate, who is someone I would never want to be like anyway. That's not someone that I look up to. I mean, he makes some good points sometimes, but I mean, he has helped the world in many ways, but he's also very toxic. He's done a lot of bad things, and but yeah, anyway, for me, it's more about let's celebrate, let's empower people, instead of just making references, comparisons. Well, at least if you're going to make a comparison, the healthier way to do it is, if you're going to compare someone to someone, at least say why. Say what is good, what is attractive about them that could be compared to someone else. That's the best way to do it. Primal Guttural says, at Louise Draven, I'm not sure you belong here if you've never had a relationship with a narcissist. Exactly, this is it. Many of these people here, they haven't. They are the narcissist. And they're trying to victimize us, turn us into their sources of supply, because they're low on supply. So they come here to get it, and they're all a part of a gang stalking network. And this is what these people have to do. And they're just losers. It's pathetic. Why don't you actually just work on yourself? So then you actually have something that people can be proud of. Instead of coming here, targeting hurt, vulnerable, yet passionate and hopeful people, which is the combination you really like, isn't it? But not to empower them. Instead to mislead, misdirect them, because that's what makes you feel powerful, because your brain is miswired. But good thing we got a moderator in queue, maybe Reese, taking these trolls out. Oh, Mimi Reese says you did get an Andrew Tate comment tonight. Oh, again, I didn't even see it. Maybe because it's so often, it's I just get so used to it, I just don't even notice it anymore. I become desensitized to it. Again, what is the resemblance? I honestly don't know. Andrew Tate is very loud, very obnoxious, very emotional, very direct in his views, and we're really like the opposite. You know, I'm very calm, logical, rational, and I accept feedback, criticism. I'm more balanced, I like to think. But you got to understand, you know, these people, they have these delusions. You are, as I said in yesterday's live video, you are a representation of something else to them. Something that hurt them, something that made them feel insecure. Aaron Michael says Jason Statham is a straight up G. Yeah, I mean, definitely, you know, there's no, nothing against Jason Statham. Fair enough, you know, he definitely is a male role model these days. I'm not saying he isn't. He's done a lot of great movies. He's a typical alpha kind of character. It's quite rare in the world today. So that doesn't shame me at all, you know, if someone sees me as a representation of Jason Statham, that's fine with me. I don't really see it myself. But then, yeah, you know, I guess I do have alpha traits. I can identify with that. I am someone who's very resilient, just like he is in as the characters he plays in some of his movies. And he's also typically very calm, easygoing, unless someone crosses him. And yeah, you know, it is good to have role models, especially for the men watching this, having good masculine role models, which are very rare today. And that's what I mean, you know, when I say about Andrew Tate. I mean, men these days didn't really have anything. So at least they had something with him. A says quite a few things, actually. Don't know if these are genuine comments, but let's entertain it for a moment. I'm in the mood. Let's give it a go. A says, have you ever been at fault, or is it always someone else who is wrong? Do you ever take accountability? I would say that I've taken accountability far too often in my life, to the point where I've been targeted by predators, blamed for everything, taken on everything, lost everything countless times, had entire families, friends, the entire city turned against me, gang stalking everywhere. So I definitely think I'm overextending myself far too much. I have mentioned before that I am a codependent, a people pleaser. So I've definitely taken far too much accountability, and that's why I was scapegoated in childhood and scapegoated by an entire community. And everywhere I go now, gang stalking follows me. So I do think I'm a bit too accountable, often take responsibility for people and things that have nothing to do with me. And of course, that's why all of these trolls and gang stalkers come here on this live chat. If I'm not someone who is going to readily take accountability and overextend myself, they would not come around me. As you can see, they do in every live chat, as they have thousands of people for the last couple of years. Which leads me to say that you should probably avoid taking accountability around narcissists. Because if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. Don't be open, don't be vulnerable around them. Just don't do it. Geneva Cordoba says, troll after troll. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's like they all think that we are just stupid. They think that we are that foolish to actually think that they're genuine people. This is it, with an narcissist. They believe their own lies. They actually believe that they are a genuine person. But yeah, it gets to a point where like the entire live chat is just full of trolls. And this is it. They do not want people to talk about this. They do not want you to listen to what I have to say. Because they're all hiding things and they know that I have the power and ability to expose it. And if you're hearing the noise above, I've been staying here all week and there's been very loud banging every morning from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. Funny enough, this has followed me. I've traveled to about 20 different cities in the last few months. Following me to every city, every country, every apartment, condominium, hotel that I stayed at. And always the same pattern, always from 3, 4 a.m. And it's just constant banging every 20, 30 minutes until about 8 a.m. when I finally wake up. And then when I wake up, it stops. And it's always so loud that even though I connect my Bluetooth speaker to my laptop, put it on 100% volume, playing rain sounds, and also wear earplugs, it still wakes me up. And yet somehow, even though I'm having like 4 or 5 hours sleep a night, for like the past 2 years now, I'm still somehow managing to function. And even with all of the harassment, every time I go out in the day and, throughout the day, you could probably hear all the horns in the background, the gang stalking, door slamming, people talking, as you can hear in every video that I make. Which of course, disrupts me, causes a lot of brain damage, and then sleep. They disrupt the sleep, that's so you don't heal. So you don't have time for your brain to repair itself. Despite that, I'm still going. And I do suspect maybe they have been drugging my food as well. Poisoning it because I have had a bad stomach. As you can hear, my nose is clogged. I've got a sore throat. There are so many different aspects to it, so many things going on. it's not working. It's not working at all. And also, I always get these women following me around everywhere I go. And they're always like very specifically the type of women that I am attracted to. So they target the minds, and they target the body, they target the heart, try to get you all worked up, all emotional, target your sexual drive, your sexual impulses. This is all to maintain authority and control over you. This is it. If you are connected to the source, if you are connected to God, you will still pull through. Just don't ever hold these people as an authority over you. But honestly, at this point, it is best to ignore the trolls. Let's not entertain them, because anything that they're saying, it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter what comparison, what reference, what question, what they're inquiring about, whether they are confused about something, they ask, they're using baiting tactics. They're asking, what is a narcissist? Are you the narcissist? Are you sure you're the victim? This is all baiting, because they're seeking your emotional investment. They are emotional predators. When you invest in them, you give supply, and you end up feeling confused because they don't validate anything that you give to them anyway. They just go into the next thing and the next thing, and you just keep investing, and you're not getting anywhere with it because they don't even care about it. They just want supply. So it's no good even entertaining it. They're not serious, sincere, genuine. They're manipulative. They don't really want to resolve anything. And my content is definitely not for those types of people. My content is meant to empower you, those who are seeking a sense of resolve, of closure. That's the whole point, is to relieve your confusion, not to create confusion. Never in any of my videos is it ever intended to create confusion for anyone. The only types of people who are going to be confused by watching my videos are narcissists. Of course, they're going to be very confused about it. As for people who are genuine victims, it's going to be understood. But it does get tiring, the same thing every day. It's like, do they not realize these exact same comparisons, exact same questions were asked the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that, and the week before that, the month before that, the year before that? They're stuck in a loop and they can't get out of it. It's their disorder. They're repeating the same patterns of behavior. They have to accept, we are not your saviors. We cannot help you. We cannot rescue you. We cannot heal you. We can't do anything for you. You need to seek a therapist and be honest with them about your condition. But yeah, they mimic your interests, they mimic your personal growth, anything, to try and get in with you, to exploit you. You've got to keep them out. But it is interesting, though. You don't see the trolls when I upload a pre-recorded video where it's not visual. Even if I upload a video premiere, it's interesting. It's only if I show my face. And then there's all these comments about my sunglasses or comparisons to other men. So it does appear as though they're mostly threatened by my appearance, and then they just try and just fake it, acting like they're interested about narcissism. So yeah, it's kind of funny because the first video I ever made was how the narcissist doesn't want you to look or feel good. And of course, we know the most important thing to them is what? Their false image. But yeah, we really need like a system that just weeds out all of these trolls. It is stalking, it is harassment, it is unwanted attention. I think I speak for every genuine person here when I say that we don't want them. And it's as simple as that. We only want good, genuine, sincere people. That's what I believe in. But yeah, these people, they are just completely uneducated, socially awkward, just socially inept. You yourself will begin to feel like something is wrong with you by the end of it. I mean, it makes you feel crazy because that's how they are. Like honestly, you sit in a room for an hour with a sociopath or a psychopath, you walk out of there like a zombie yourself, like with your eyes wide open, like Frankenstein, like because they have serious social issues. And that's how you know, these are more like sociopaths. Narcissists are typically very good socially, they're very charming. They really get it going. You're really moving forward with them in the beginning. Sociopaths, from the very beginning, it's anti-social. Even when they try to socialize, it just, something about it just turns you off, just disgusts you. It's just, not always. I mean, there are definitely psychopaths out there who are charming. But a lot of times, it's one of the differences, I think, with narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths. It just doesn't feel right. But yeah, I think we'll leave this one here. But yeah, you can tell, you know, that they are narcissistic people because it's all about themselves. They come in and it's all about them. Just like any narcissist out in the world, you know, the entire group, the entire team, it becomes all about that one person. Everything else is just invisible, irrelevant. This is how it goes with them. This is what they do. They dominate everything because they are disordered. It's all about themselves. And I'm getting on here to make it all about you. Of course, they love it. You know, that's what they want. Someone who's going to make it all about themselves. But yeah, there should be a better system on here to keep these people out, because narcissists, disordered people coming onto a live chat for real victims of narcissistic abuse, that's very dangerous and inappropriate. You know, this is... But this is what they do, you know, they're looking for vulnerable people. So guard yourselves on cue. And be aware, you know, that these predators, they are lurking. Anyway, for my genuine viewers, my genuine victims, survivors of narcissistic abuse, I do hope that this video was helpful for you. Just overlooking the city here on the balcony. Yeah, thank you all for joining me on another live video. And I'll speak to you in another one very soon.